Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Well, as you can see, I've got my Peloton set up and today I wanted to do a quick video covering the purchase, delivery, setup, and first impressions of the bike. So if that sounds like fun, why don't we roll back the clock and talk a little bit about how I ended up getting the bike. So the first thing I did when I decided I wanted to get a Peloton bike is obviously go to the website and just check out what the options are. So right now, when I purchased it, there are basically two bikes available. As you can see, there's the standard Peloton bike, and then they have this thing called the Peloton Bike Plus. And if you look at it, you see that there's a major price difference between the two. The Bike Plus is literally $1,000 more than the normal Peloton bike. So you might be asking yourselves, what's the difference? I know I sure was. So if you take a quick look at this, basically the Bike Plus has a slightly better touchscreen with more audio and speakers, and that's not really terribly important to me. One of the major differences was the resistance knob on the normal bike is manual, so you have to change the resistance manually if you want to follow along with classes, whereas the Bike Plus has the ability to automatically follow the instructor's resistance. I actually am not terribly interested in this. I've discovered that actually I prefer manual adjustment over following what the class is suggesting. So actually, I think a manual knob is the way I want to go. So this is obviously, well, I guess maybe not obviously, but at least in my case, the auto follow was not a selling point. There's apparently Apple Gym Kit integration on the Bike Plus, and again, I don't use Apple products, so I don't really care about this. The other thing that it can do is that the touch screen or the screen actually is able to rotate on the Bike Plus. It's basically able to pan apparently 360 degrees, whereas on the normal bike, this touchscreen can only tilt up and down, so it can't pan or swivel. So, boy, if you look at that, really for those two, that's basically the major items that are different. It's the auto follow resistance and then the pan tilt screen. And gee, I really could not justify an extra $1,000 for those two features, which I really don't actually think I'm going to use a lot. And in fact, in a future video, I'll show you how to get around this swivel screen for a lot less than $1,000. So long story short, after looking at the multiple options, I basically said, you know, it's going to be the Peloton, the normal Peloton bike. This $1,500 version is the one that I'm going to go with. So I then went and I sat on a couple of friends' bikes. I did a couple of test rides and saw that I really liked it, so I decided to pull the trigger on this bike. Now, I did a little bit more research when I was thinking about purchasing this, and it turns out that the clips that come with the Peloton bike are the pedals are set up for Look Delta cleats, which I actually don't use. I use Shimano SPD cleats. So I decided to get my wife a pair of shoes so she could use the Look Delta pedals and use the Peloton bike that way. So what I ended up doing was, if you go over to the accessories page of Peloton, you'll see that there are multiple different accessories you can purchase. You can get this Bike Essentials package, which has the shoes and then weights and headphones. I just wanted the shoes by themselves. So if you scroll down here, you'll see that the cycling shoes by themselves, that's actually kind of expensive, $125 for a pair of shoes. So I was a little bit deterred by this until I discovered the Refer a Friend program. So let me come to this tab and I'll show you. Peloton has a, whoopsie, this is my referral page. Sorry, hold on, let's come here. Peloton referral code here, the Refer a Friend program. So they've got this Refer a Friend program where if you know someone that already has a Peloton account, they can find a referral code, and if they give that to you, you will actually get $100 towards bike accessories, which include these shoes. So I called up a friend and got their referral code, so it knocked the price of these shoes down from $100 to $25, which is a really good deal. So I decided to, that's a great way to do it. Also, what's actually kind of cool about this referral program is not only did I get $100 off on my accessories, but my friend got $100 off some apparel. So it's a bit of a win-win situation for both parties. And I guess in a shameless plug, if you're interested in taking advantage of this, here's my referral code. Feel free to use this if you want to get yourself $100 off on accessories like bike shoes, and then I guess I'll get $100 to buy clothes that have the Peloton logo on it, I guess, or something like that. So, with all of that said, I basically was ready to pull the trigger. I'll just show you my my invoice. So this is basically what I purchased. So for the $1,500 price, you get the bike, and then I guess you get a warranty thrown in, and you also get automatically signed up for their $40 a month Peloton All Access membership. So I guess that kind of gets thrown in there. And then here you can see that the cycling shoes that I got for my wife only cost $25 because I was able to get $100 off here based on that referral code. The interesting to note here is, I guess this membership, it didn't start right away for me. So I basically got a little bit of a trial period while I was waiting for my bike to arrive. So you can see that there isn't a $40 charge for the membership on this invoice. So this is what I did. I pulled the trigger, and here's one interesting thing with the Peloton purchase experience is when I bought the bike through the website, right? I basically added all my stuff to the cart. I hit purchase, and I did this, I think it was like a Friday night or something like that. And what was really a little bit odd is I got no confirmation from the Peloton website. In fact, the website sort of crashed on me, so I was a little bit concerned. And furthermore, I was also concerned that I didn't get an automatic confirmation email stating that I had purchased everything successfully. I actually ended up talking to their tech support over the chat here the next day on Saturday afternoon to try to confirm that my order was placed properly. And it turns out, it sounds like they actually have people manually checking each order to detect for fraud. So my order didn't actually get manually checked by a human being until Monday. So I guess that delayed my purchase a little bit, but anyway, just as a small data point, maybe they fixed this by the time that you're watching this video, but when I purchased it, I didn't get a confirmation email, but it turns out the bike showed up fine. In fact, the logistics people, the next step in the process was the logistics people actually contacted me to have the bike delivered and set up in my home, and that was actually a really smooth experience. The logistics people called me, they texted me and let me know when they were coming, and in fact, why don't we fast forward and I'll show you what it looked like when the bike arrived. Now, I don't know about you, but in the past, when I've ordered larger pieces of equipment, often it arrives at your house in boxes with, quote-unquote, some assembly required. So I was actually pleasantly surprised when they showed up to my house with a big old truck and basically arrived with the bike almost fully assembled. After they got it off the truck and into my garage, it only took them about 10 minutes to get the bike set up and tested. They gave me a few pointers on how to adjust and operate the bike, and then they were on their way. And they probably spent less than 20 minutes at my house altogether. So, as I mentioned, the delivery was fast and very pleasant. All right, so they set this up really fast. I guess when they're, the guy said when they're doing hundreds of these, they've got some experience and they get pretty quick. So it really took them, they were only here for about 5-10 minutes setting this up. So I just had them put it here in the garage so I could play with it, and now I think it's time to see if we can get it inside, and I guess I'm a little worried, up to the second floor. All right, let's give that a whirl. All right, and actually, before we try to move this up to the second floor, I actually tried to pick this thing up and move it around, and it is really heavy. So let's actually try to disassemble it as much as possible to make the move as simple as we can. And I wanted to show you how to disassemble most of these components. It turned out to be really easy. In fact, I've just reassembled it here just for the illustrative purposes, so I can show you how to get it apart. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get the bike tablet tablet slash screen off. So the first thing to do is, if you come down here, you'll notice there are two connectors to the tablet. So the first over here is this 3.5 millimeter data cable, and then on the other side is this power cable. So the way to get this off, it's pretty simple. There's this clip here that you just need to kind of bend and pop. There you go, right? And this thing will just pop open. Okay, so then you can take out the 3.5 millimeter data cable. So here's a 3.5 millimeter TRS cable you can take out, and then just pull out the power cable like such. That's it. Okay, so now we're gonna wanna lift that off to the side. Next, we're gonna have to get the screen off. So to do that, there's this plastic piece that says Peloton. If you just pop that off, you'll see that you actually just expose 4 screws. These are pretty much just standard VESA, I don't ever know how you pronounce that, monitor mounts. So we need to take those out with a Phillips screwdriver. I'm going to use, because I'm kind of lazy, I'm going to go ahead and use a drill, and I'm going to support this screen while I'm doing it. And literally, this is all you're going to have to do. You may want to get a helper for this. Okay. Woo. All right, there we go. Got it one-handed. Okay, take it off. And now what we're gonna wanna do is, and actually, it might be a good idea to keep on your protective screen, your plastic film, while you're doing this move, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this face down onto this nice soft part right there. Okay, so that's the screen off. I'm gonna go ahead and collect all of the little screws and washers for the monitor slash tablet. Keep those off to the side. Now, next thing to do is to take off the rear seat. This is actually really simple. Just loosen the bolt. Okay, you don't have to be that close. And then this one actually just comes straight out. So if you just pull the whole thing out, it just pretty much pops out. So that really couldn't be any easier. So there you go. There's one part. Now, the headset is a little bit of a different story. So the headset, if you come down here and you look, there's this one single little screw at the bottom. And this, if you try to pull the headset out, it's gonna bind. It's gonna hit and you're not gonna be able to get it out. So all you gotta do is take this thing out. And again, just get yourself a Phillips screwdriver, unscrew this like such. Okay, and that's gone. Now the entire headset will just pop out like that. Okay. All right, so that's pretty much it. The last thing to do is disconnect the power cable here in the back. So pretty easy, just pull it out. There you go. And now I think it's ready to rock. So I'm gonna go get some help and try to lug this thing up the stairs. Okay, so we'll be back in a second. All right, so we got it up this flight of narrow stairs. It wasn't super duper easy. I had a helper, but we did it. And I did want to just show you that we're bringing it up here to this second floor room, which has a really narrow hallway and a sharp 90-degree turn to get into the door, and it ended up just about working. I was a little nervous because the bike was pretty big and bulky, but there it is. As you can see, we ended up getting it inside, so it definitely can make that kind of a turn. So we've got it reassembled up here, and I just thought I would show you what came with the bike. It wasn't a whole lot. They came off, and as you saw, they dropped it off, and everything worked very quickly. They didn't leave any boxes or packaging. They basically just left us, I don't know why, but they left us this plastic bag filled with an assortment of Allen wrenches, a 15-millimeter wrench, another wrench for, I'm not even sure what size, then a small piece of, I guess, information about the tablet, and then a user manual for the bike, which I haven't even opened up. Whoops, there we go. So I think it's just a, yeah, I guess a user's manual on how this whole thing works and all that kind of good stuff, how to make adjustments to the bike and all that kind of stuff. So I guess we'll read through this later, but I'm excited. So why don't we think about powering this thing on? All right, so let's take off the protective screen. All right, that's gone. And then I think, since we're all plugged in, I think you push the power button back here. And let's come here to the front and see what happens. and nothing. I should have read the owner's manual. Do I have to push and hold this for a little while? Ah, there we go. Now we get the Peloton logo. Okay, and I guess we're going to give it a little bit of time to boot up, and we'll see what happens. All right, so after powered on, I connected it to my Wi-Fi network. It downloaded an update, and now it looks like I need to activate the bike. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. All right, so I think we got it all set up. I've just logged into my profile, and looky here, we've got a whole bunch of classes we can take to try this out. Let's see, let's give one of these a try. Is there, oh, haha, 80s music. We love 80s music. Let's try this. So click on that. Click on start, and let's hop on the bike and see how it goes. Is this going to start? Oh yeah, here we go, and then hit start.
What is up, Peloton? My name is Jen Sherman, and we are
there. It is.
45 minutes.
Let me turn it down a little.
80s ride, yes.
There we go. It's totally working. This feels great. Okay, let's try this out, and then I'll let you know how it goes.
It's gonna be upbeat. I went with a super fun dose of.
Okay, I know this isn't part of the standard bare minimum bike setup, but when I purchased the Peloton bike, I actually got a referral code from a family member, and when they gave me the referral code, that basically entitled me to $100 off any Peloton accessory. So I ended up ordering a pair of bike shoes for my wife so she can use them. So these are the shoes, so let's go ahead and take a look at them. So they send it to you in looks like a Peloton branded cardboard box. So let's see what these look like. Okay, and they come in here. Here's a nice inner box. So here are the Peloton bike shoes. There we go. Take them out of that sleeve. Boy, they got more packaging than you would probably like. Okay, and here are the shoes. Here's the bike shoes. Let's see if there's anything else in here. Just a little bit of information. So nothing terribly interesting. Okay, so here we go. Pair of bike shoes. Looks like, yep, these are, as expected, they are the Look Delta clips. So unfortunately, these are not Shimano SPDs, which is what I run. So I'm going to have to figure out a way that I can use both these Look Deltas and the Shimano SPDs at the same time. But let's see. This should hopefully be pretty darn simple. I think they probably just give you the, yep, here's the clips. Here's the hardware to attach the clips. So, yeah, that's pretty simple. So there's the bike shoes. All right, let's keep going with our setup. Now, let me be honest, while I do bike quite a bit outdoors, on average about 50 to 60 miles a week, I'm really not much of a gym rat, and in the past, I really never went to the gym, and I never really spun on stationary bikes, so I was a little skeptical about how much a workout you could get on a stationary bike, but let me tell you, I'm pleasantly surprised that this seems to work just as well, if not better than a normal bike if you're looking to raise your heart rate a little bit. So as you can see, you get a really good workout on the bike. I'm dripping in sweat. So you definitely need a fan and a towel and a water bottle. I've discovered that because this is a really good workout. Even for a quick 30-minute ride, I end up dripping a lot and sweating a lot. So actually, let me show you something about that. One thing I've noticed is that a lot of that sweat has a tendency to drip down onto the bike, obviously, because you are just pedaling like crazy going off. Look at this, my down tube is just kind of covered in sweat. Oh, gross. You can kind of see some sweat dripping down the handlebars and the headset. Some of it even gets onto the screen. And then one nice thing actually I saw on the drivetrain side, they actually have this nice plastic cover over the belt, which is nice because, again, look at this. This is just covered in sweat, and that's probably not the best for corrosion and whatnot, so it's great that they have a little guard on top of it to basically protect the drivetrain. Also, speaking of protecting things, I've discovered you need to kind of have a mat or a towel underneath, otherwise you're just going to be sweating onto your carpet, which probably isn't the best. So again, very recommended to have a water bottle, to have a fan, and to have a sweat rag or something like that that you can just drape over the handlebars as you're going. So other than that, yeah, this is working out great so far. It's a lot of fun and a good way to get your heart rate up. And one thing that I wanted to show you that I really like about the bike is it's virtually silent. So I'm pedaling right now, you know, medium, and if I'm quiet, you won't be able to hear anything. I've got a lav mic on right now, so you should be hearing effectively what I am hearing right now riding the bike. So let me just shut up and let you listen. See? You really can't hear the flywheel or the drivetrain. The loudest thing is me, kind of my cycle clothes rubbing against each other. In fact, if I get up out of the saddle, let me crank up the resistance and you can listen to that. See? I was trying not to breathe so you don't have to listen to me panting, but long story short, you really can't hear this flywheel. So that's awesome if you're trying to watch a movie or listen to the class or just be quiet so you're not disturbing anyone. It works out quite well. All right, so there you have it, the initial setup and my first impressions on the Peloton bike. So far, I'm really enjoying it. It makes it very easy now to do workouts and just get a way to get my heart rate up, even though it's yucky and rainy and nasty and dark outside. So far, I've had it for about a little over a month right now, and I've done about 15 to 20 workouts on it. And like I said, I've been very pleased with it so far. So with that being said, we're going to be releasing a lot more Peloton bike videos in the future. So if you're interested, I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. Surprisingly, if you just scroll a little ways down and click on that subscribe button, it really does help me continue making these videos. And speaking of the new videos, remember, they come out every single Monday. So I hope I'll be able to catch you at one of these future discussions and we can all learn something new together. So until then, I think I'll sign off. Talk to you later. Bye.